students. Today we are going to have a discussion about GMP requirements and drugs and cosmetic acts provision. We are not going to much detail, only we are going to see about the GMP requirements. Already we have seen some of them about the current good manufacturing process and also good manufacturing process. Today we are going to have some details. What is the requirements actually to have a GMP? This topic will give you some support even if they ask about good manufacturing process, current good manufacturing process. So you can just today we have emphasized or we have concentrated in how to explain about the requirements, specifically about the building requirements, about the hygienic requirements, and so listed out. I have certain listed out and I have made some slide in such a way the points how we can watch design and color, somewhat very little, not very big animation. I was unable, I'm not very much expert in various computer technology, but still what I have some knowledge and something which I can do, because teaching not only just to lecture, I want to make you to remember some points at least. As I told from the beginning, I used to say 100% I cannot make you to remember or to listen. Listening is very difficult. I can give you lecture. So at least a 10% what I am giving today will reach to the students. That is my success. Actually, I feel like that. So we can go forward. This good manufacturing practice comes in Schedule M actually, in Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 in India and rules in 1945. GMP, good manufacturing process, are the requirements that the drug and methods, control, facilities used in their manufacturing, herbal drugs or even normal pharmaceutical drugs, all are, they have to, the GMP is similar for everybody, every manufacturing unit. Processing and packing conforms to practice that will give assure quality assurance, assure the safety and efficacy of the product. Safety and efficacy of the product. Good manufacturing process, GMP, includes a set of practices that ensure quality at every level of production in industry. So good manufacturing process showing the different levels of operation in an industry that ensures quality. So you can see some of the points. This is what I told to remember some of the colors and the points which I made so that students can remember. Record keeping is a good manufacturing process. It's our method to have as a point which we can remember. Record keeping of substances throughout the manufacturing process. Raw material quality assurance, checking the quality of the raw material which you are using for the process manufacturing. Standards of cleanliness and safety of the premises, that is also an important aspect for good manufacturing process. Qualification of the personnels, employees, manufacturing chemists, qualification of manufacturing and the personnel's also very important for good manufacturing process to give the ensure safety and the quality of the product. Warehousing and distribution. After manufacturing, distribution, how you maintain your quality, how you maintain your transportation, distribution and the record maintaining. Same thing, how you are storing capacities, storing specifications and maintaining the requirements, and this how you maintain the stability of the product in the storage conditions. So these all comes in the warehousing and distribution. In-house testing, in the premises testing, in-process laboratory testing is also, and GMP it's an important factor which you have to follow to ensure the quality, production and the process control. So again I am repeating, I just came with that arrow, you just see. Raw materials, quality assurance, standards of cleanliness and safety, qualification of manufacturing personnels, warehousing and distributions, maintenance, in-house testing, record keeping of the substances throughout the manufacturing process, production and process control. These all are the points which you should remember when you want to write about what all the things have to be followed for good manufacturing practice. Good manufacturing practice. This is good manufacturing practice. So if you want to make good manufacturing practice, you should have all these parameters have to be maintained, and the bookkeeping, record keeping, writing the records is very important. Record keeping, that is bookkeeping, which we might have come across in the statistics study. Parts of GMP, there are 11 parts I made into points to be remembered. One is general provision, just a small point. Number 2, organization and personnels regarding qualification, working members, chemists, pharmacists, all the qualification requirements, registration requirements. And number 3, building and facilities, how the building structure should be, what is the plan of the things should be, which have to be, what is the maintenance, what all the things which have to maintain in a building construction for a manufacturing, production, pharmaceutical industry. If they want to have an herbal production, what all the things, the building specification and facilities comes in the 3rd point. And number 4, equipments. What all the equipments needed according to the procedure what you are going to manufacture. What is the product you are going to manufacture. If there is a tablet or a capsule or an injection or a syrup or what type of formulation which you want to make, all the equipments have to be standardized and it has to maintain its good manufacturing practice for to maintain the safety and efficacy of the herbal drugs with quality for the product have to be distributed in the market. And when you come to the 5th point, control of components and products and closures. That means containers and closures. Containers and closures also you should have control over it. That is also a part of good manufacturing practice or good manufacturing practice. And 6th one, production of process control. That is good manufacturing process, production, production and process or process control. Labeling, seventh one. You see, seventh one. Seventh one is packing and labeling control. Label also very important. You might have studied in the last class. We discussed that label also have to be get approval from FDA for any new drug development, new drug which you want to manufacture and to be marketed, means even the label have to be approved by the FDA. So packing and labeling control is also a main component of good manufacturing practice. And when we come to the 8th point, holding and distribution. Holding and distribution means like before slide which told about warehousing, storing, the manufactured product is quarantined, and distribution, how you distribute, how you take the product from one place to another, what is the precautions, what all the maintenance for the standard, maintenance for the standard quality, and the maintenance for the safety and efficacy of the herbal products. What is the holding and distribution, or one of the part of the good manufacturing practice. And the 9th one is laboratory control. A laboratory practice, good laboratory practice which you have come across. Here it is all together, we are just telling good manufacturing practice also. A part is 9th one is laboratory control, analytical practice, and what all the assays, what all the chemical tests, and what all the things carried out inside the house of premises. And number 10, records and the reports, very important. When you want to write report, manufacturing record, quality control record, quality assurance record, and what all the chemical test, what is the assays, what all the label claims, whichever which you have made, all the tests have to be recorded and computerized, and it has to be filed, and it should be written. Statements also is needed, and also signed by the authority, and it should be kept for at least minimum for 1 year. Every inspection, it has to be shown clearly the manufacturing records. And number 11, retaining and salvage drug products. For example, return, not retaining, returned. Sometimes some products may be returned from certain area to the manufacturing unit due to their deterioration, due to sometimes climatic change, some accidental fire accidents, and many incidents may be happen. And sometimes it may be salvaged also. What do you mean by salvaged? Reprocessed, and it can be taken back to the market. How it is possible? There are some limitations is there. Even if it is deteriorated, it is not possible. It has to be destroyed. It has to be destroyed if it is deteriorated. If it is for a fire accident, and if it is not having the quality of the manufacturer's standard, then it has to be destroyed. Suppose if it is not so, when you are returned the product, and the product is, but sometimes there may be bad health, sometimes the business may be closed, sometimes the person has to return simply because he doesn't want to invest. In that case also, again the test parameters have to be carried out, and it should be verified, and then if it is undergoing all the specification which is done in the initial manufacturing of the product, and as well as the SOP which is given and which is mentioned by the manufacturer and approved by the FDA, and then it can be salvaged, it can be reprocessed, it can be taken to the market. So we have 11 points which the students can easily remember once if you read and once you see the slide and listen the lecture. And number one, we are going to explain about all the 11 one by one, the general provision, and now we are just revising what we discussed, all the 11 points. General provisions, organization and personnel, building and facilities, equipments, control of components and product and closures, production and process control, packing and labeling control, holding and distribution, laboratory controls, records and reports, returning and salvage drug products, the 11 points which we are going to discuss today. The first is a general provision. The regulation in this part contains the minimum current good manufacturing process for preparation of drug products for administration to humans or animals. It is for human and as well as for veterinary purpose. They all will come under this session by Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940, in the Act 1945. And number 2, organization and personnel regarding about the qualification. The manufacturer should have an adequate number of personnels. Adequate number of people, chemists should be appointed with the necessary qualification and practice experience, the practical experience, the manufacturing experience is needed for any chemist which they have appointed. The manufacturer must have an organization chart. They should make a chart. They should make a flow chart for every production. Every organization they should have. The people is responsible. Position should be specified in it. Duties should be specified in it. And written job description should be specified in it. And adequate authority to carry out their responsibility. What is their responsibility? What is their duty? Responsibility should be maintained and it should be returned very clearly. Key personnel includes the head of the production, the head of the quality control, the head of the engineering. Here I want to just to make you clear, I have made that what is this head of the production, head of the quality control, head of the engineering. Actually, when you go to an industry, pharmaceutical industry, there will be many departments will be there. Mainly these three are the main departments for the production area. They are the main people. For example, head of the production manager, who is very responsible for all the production. And head of the quality control, QC and the quality assurance, they comes under quality control, very important in process checking. After manufacturing also they have to give certify that whether this product can be sold or taken to the market will be specified by the quality control department. So a team of people will comes under this head of the quality control, quality assurance and quality control people. And what will be the head of engineering? This is very important. Sometimes we are using automatic machines and we are using many engineering people who want to maintain this sector where, for example, if an example of rotary punch tablet compression machine, if you are using, there will be lot of breakdowns, lot of differences, because it's a fast machine. If you go for 75 punches machine and double punch compression machine, if you are using as a rotary compression machine, usually it needs an engineer to be always observed, and if there is a breakdown, immediately they have to come. So there will be a team of people who can, even you can see that when you are finishing your work, you might have studied dismantle. You have to dismantle the machine and clean it, and you have to keep ready, because every day, every session you will be changing the drugs. Mix. There should not be any counter contamination, should not be there. So that is why it should be cleaned for every project is over, every manufacturing batches are over, immediately it will be cleaned and dismantled, and that should be done by the head of the engineering department. So the engineering department also, so you have tried, there are 3 departments, organization, personnel, that is in production, when you good manufacturing practice, specifically in production area, head of the production, head of the quality control, head of the engineering. The manufacturer should provide training for all the personnel, and the personnel working in area where contamination is an hazardous. Example, clean areas are areas where highly active, toxic, infectious or sensitizing materials are handled, should be specific to how to handle. These all things should be given special training for all the individual personnel, should have that proper training. Detailed hygienic program is also for personnel, should be established and adapted to the different needs within the factory. They should include procedures related to the health, hygiene practice and clothing or personnel. All personnel should receive medical examination upon recruitment. Every person entering the manufacturing areas should wear protective garments appropriate to the operation to be carried out. They should wear protective garments including apron, head cover, foot cover, and if it is a parental product, completely the dress changing should be done. And you should, another instruction for the personnels, eating, drinking, chewing, smoking or the storage of food, some drinks or smoke materials or personal medication in the production and the storage areas should be prohibited completely. These are the main points for good manufacturing practice, GMP. Direct contact should be avoided between the operators' hands and exposed to the product directly should be avoided. Personals, the employers, should be instructed to use the hand wash facilities. These all are some of the points which we have added. And number 3 is building and facilities. This is one of the important sector in the 11 points, 11 parts of good manufacturing process. Here we have made some different points, actually 9 or 10 points even we have mentioned in this building and facilities. In that first one is premises. The premises must be located, designed, constructed, adapted and maintained to suit the operation to be carried out. Their layout and design must aim to minimize the risk of error and permit effective cleaning and maintenance in order to avoid cross-contamination. So in that case, the build-up of dust or din, even the audio, din means audio noises, and in general, any adverse effect on the quality of the product. So that's why It's very important for you to think about the premises across contamination, cleaning and maintenance should be, you should have a design in such a way you should be easily cleaned, and also unnecessary audio proof from outside should be maintained. And the example for the premise is the example for materials of the flow chart. You have to make such a way, this is just a flow of a building construction. Arrival goods area, entrance of visitor, entrance of workers, entrance shipments of goods, like that, 4 areas, 4 different channels of entering into the premises, and materials, how it can enter, and people, how you can see the people, how they are entering, and the zones, you can see the red color zones are almost cleaning areas, like where officers, quality control, growing, and the raw material area, packing area, these all are, they are shown in the blue color, green arrows. And the packing areas are, you can see the zones which green, and zones with blue which is control, zones with red which is flow or a clean, and zones with this green is a packing area, and the zones with blue is control area. So like that we can prepare, this is the WHO channel which they have given, this type of premises and example building premises. And number 2, in that same building we have to think about the design and construction features also. What is the design? The building shall have adequate space and orderly placement of equipment and materials to prevent mix-up. It should be designed in such a way to facilitate cleaning, maintenance and proper operation. Floor, wall, ceiling, surface could be easily cleanable. Temperature and humidity control should be provided. You see, this is just a ground floor picture. Plan can be made even with second floor, third floor also it is possible, without using heavy equipments in the first floor or second floors. And lighting is also very important. Adequate lighting shall be provided in the areas as shown in the picture. Lighting is also plays a major role. Ventilation, air filtration, air ventilation shall be provided. Equipment for control over pressure, microorganism, dust, humidity, and temperature shall be provided. That means humidity and temperature shall be provided. Maintenance, we are talking about humidity control, temperature control. These all are very important for the premises to maintain the good manufacturing practice which we are discussing now. You can see this is about the ventilation, air filtration, and even you might have heard about HEPA filters which can be kept in the walls of the premises so that positive pressure can be maintained, contamination by microorganisms can be prevented by means of these HEPA filters. And number 3, plumbing. Number 5, sorry, not 3. Plumbing, potable water shall be supplied. Potable water can be supplied. But drains shall be adequate size and preventive measures should be taken. Should be taken to prevent back siphonage. That means recycling, storing or backing the water coming back with some dirts and microorganisms should be avoided. So plumbing plays a major role. And about sewage and that is refuse. What do you mean by sewage and refuse? For example, the wastage of water or the wastage substances can be recycled, and also it can be used for agriculture purpose, and it can be even it should be avoided in the lake or the drinking water area, or even you should not sewage should not be there in certain publics where they lives. So you have to make certain plants, like you should have like this recycling water plant. Usually the environment can be prevented by means of removing, and also some of the water can be used for irrigation purpose, and the contamination for the humans and animal husbandry can also be prevented by means of this type of system. There are many type of purifying the wastage water. Sewage is nowadays a big project for every pharmaceutical industry, and it should maintain, and it can help for environmental pollution and prevents from various unwanted hazardous calamities which can happen for the human beings and the animal husbandry. And number 7, wash. This is about the building. We are not coming to this point which we want to discuss about the good manufacturing practice. This is in the building only. We are washing, and toilet facility is also very important. You see the picture which I have shown here. The picture which I have shown here, it shows about the washing area, spacing, and toilets separately for every workers and the manufacturing chemist. It should be provided personally. Wash facilities shall be provided, including hot and cold water, soap and detergents, air dryer, towels, and clean toilet facilities easily accessible to the working area. So that is very important for anyone to maintain. And sanitation, any building used in manufacturing process, packing or holding of the drug product shall be maintained in a clean and sanitary condition. Any such buildings shall be free of infestation by rodents, birds, insects, and other vermins, other organisms also. There are many type of even reptiles. So these all should be prevented. The building should be constructed in that way. It also comes in the sanitation. So you see here, about the next point is about maintenance specific. The 9th point in the building, maintenance. Construction is not only not at all a big issue, but how you are maintaining. The maintenance is very important. So building shall be maintained in a good state of repair. Premises should be carefully maintained. Ensure that repair and maintenance operation do not present any hazard to quality of the product. Light, temperature, which we discussed, maintain. Humidity and ventilation should be appropriate and such that they do not adverse affect directly or indirectly either the medicinal product during their manufacturing or in their storage or in their inadequate functioning of equipment. Premises should be designed and equipped so as to afford maximum protection against the entry of insects and other animals. Steps should be taken in order to prevent the entry of unauthorized people. Unauthorized people should be avoided, and only by means of visitors also should get ID card, and they should follow the instructions whatever given by the security and how to maintain the good manufacturing practice in their entry. And interior surfaces in construction, wall, floors and ceilings should be smooth So it should be free from crack so that no dirts will go and stay inside, or open joints should not be there, and should be shed particulate matter, and should prevent easy and effective cleaning, and if necessary disinfectant can also be used for cleaning every walls and floors and ceilings. Pipe works, as we have discussed about plumbing, light fitting, ventilation points and other services should be designed and sited to avoid the creation and scissors, that means recesses. The creations of recesses means, what I want to say is, suppose a pipeline of water is stagnant of water, leakage of water, stagnant of water, rivers which is stagnant of water should be avoided, which are difficult to clean. So don't keep in a bed or stagnant in an area where the end of the place or where people cannot move for cleaning. That place you should not keep a bend or something, some pipelines should be avoided. That is what recess area. In certain places sometimes people cannot go there, and there the rodents and other insects, animals can, other rodents especially, and other this type of organisms can stay there, and they may disturb the whole setup to maintain the good manufacturing practice. So next one, weighing. In that weighing and starting materials also usually should be carried out in a separate weighing room designed for that use. So this all comes in the maintenance. And eighth one, in the maintenance itself, storage area where you are storing the finished product should be sufficient capacity and allow orderly stored and various categories material of the products, starting and packing material separately, intermediate products separately, bulk and finished products separately, product which have to be quarantined separately, release of the drug should be separately, and rejected drug should be separately, and returned drug and recalled drug should be separately. Everywhere you should have a separate storage conditions should be maintained so that there will not be any type of cross contamination due to drug contamination can be avoided. So this is what we are telling about it. So this is also a very great maintenance point which has to be mentioned in good manufacturing practice, to be maintained or to be followed according to Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940. And the point to be maintenance in the ninth point is segregated area should be provided for storage and rejected, recalled or returned material or product, which I told now. That should be provided separately. It should not be mixed up with that. Highly active component, suppose if it is there, potential component, material product, should be stored in a safety and secured area. Quality control laboratory should be separated for production, should be separated from production area. It should not be inside the production area. And rest and refreshment room for every personnel should be there, for separate area should be provided for that. Facilities for changing their clothes and for washing and toilet purposes should be easily accessible and appropriate for the number of the users. So how many number of users? According to that you should increase the number of toilets. Number of restrooms should be increased for the employees. So that this is one of the parameters for maintenance of good manufacturing practice in buildings. So this is also very, very important points which has to be maintained. An animal house should be well isolated from the other areas. Usually research and development will be there in every pharmaceutical industries. And for every test they need animals for their standardization test. So a pharmacological test, in that case, if you have animals, experimental animals, albino rats, albino mice, guinea pigs, rabbits, these all animals if you are using for their experimental animals should be isolated area from the area of the production, away from it, and separate entrance for animal access also. There should be a separate entrance and handling facilities should be provided. And when you come to this building and facilities, whatever we have discussed, I just made into the points which have to be remembered now is premises and design of construction, features, lighting and ventilation, air filtration in the building construction. Plumbing plays a major role, and sewage and refuge, how you have to maintain in the building. Washing and toilet facilities for everyone, how you have to maintain, how you have to give. Sanitation, what is the importance of the sanitation? And maintenance, very important, maintenance. That's what different points we just now discussed. Near more than 9-8 points we discussed. Maintenance. All the building, maintenance plays a major role in the building and facilities. So this is one part of good manufacturing practice. And the next one, actually next one is the fourth point, equipments. Now we have come to only 3 points we have discussed today in this lecture. You can just see what are the 3 points which we have discussed. This is building, we have maintenance, and all these things, plumbing or comes in the design, all this comes in the building. And next, before building, we discussed about the personnel. Understand? Organization and personal qualification. And the first one is general. Understand? So, general, we got provision, that is animals and veterinary should be provided separately according to Drug and Cosmetic Act. So, we have discussed only 3 points. As we said here, as I shown here, how many points are there? For example, you can see here, there are 11. We have seen by means of, even by colored, I showed all the 11 parts in good manufacturing process. And even we have seen this good manufacturing process of different levels of operation in industry. So the next class, we will just continue from the 4th point. That means we have to see about this. See here, I think after this slide, we have to come this 1, 2 and 3 we have discussed. Number 4, equipments, we will discuss tomorrow at the next class, and we will just have a discussion. Thank you for being with me.